This is definitely the springiest of spring days here in Utah. Filming it on Easter, not posting it on Easter, but I'm filming it on Easter, and there's kind of a Easter egg vibe here with the colors, you know, Easter pastels or whatnot, but the blues and the reds and the yellows. This is the new Deutschland Design set from Hot Wheels Car Culture. I received a case from Mattel, and I have just been dying to open this up. Many of you are finding it in store. You're finding this colorful set, and if you find this black model with it, then you're super lucky because you found yourself a chase. This is the second chase that they've introduced. The Corvette was the first one in the first mix. The next one will be the Liberty Walk Skyline, R34 Skyline, but this Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG Coupe Black Series is the next one in Deutschland Design. We'll get to that in just a second, but obviously, German design is the theme here. This is the second Deutschland Design. I think, was it last year? I think it was just last year we saw the first introduced a cool Mercedes in that one. And considering we have two actual new castings, both Mercedes, and a somewhat new but not officially new Mercedes, I figured this would be a great time to celebrate what has become a Hot Wheels / Mercedes-Benz juggernaut. We have seen so many cool Mercedes-Benz premium castings released in the last few years since they regained the license, and it has been fantastic. So let's start there. Hot Wheels announced their partnership with Mercedes. I don't know, it's been a few years, and I'm not going to get the timing right, but they released it a few years ago, and I think, and I'm going to try and do this in order, and I may be off just a little bit, but I think what they introduced first was the Unimog, and when you consider where it's gone with Mercedes-Benz, this is kind of a funny way to start it out. It might have been the 190E, but we'll go with the Unimog first, and we saw it in, I think, pop culture. It's obviously an iconic Mercedes-Benz, but you know, we've seen it mostly in pop culture. I think this is the only time we've seen it in car culture, so I had to pull out the Paramedic. So I think that's how it started. But this is where I think it really got going, was the Mercedes-Benz 190E Evo. This remains one of my favorite castings that have been done. It's definitely my favorite Mercedes-Benz casting, although it's been challenged by some good ones. But you start thinking of all the classics, the classic Mercedes from the 50s, 60s, 70s. Then you've got these 80s and 90s era, and then you've got some cool current ones as well. But this one, I think, has really set off what has become a fantastic kind of like sports car / racing line that they've done with Mercedes-Benz, is that 190E, and they continue to release some fantastic ones. Back to the SUVs. This one was introduced, this is a Boulevard version, but it was introduced in Fast and Furious, right, with a G-Wagon. This one comes with a removable top. We've seen it with and without the top release. This one in Boulevard came very stock-like, so this one was a very nice one to see. Then I think, and again, like I said, I don't know if this is perfectly in order. We saw a basic, and I'm not even covering basic today, but we saw basic models. This one upgraded to premium for car culture, and we've seen it twice, I think. This is the AMG GT3. So this was the first very, actual racing car that we've seen from Mercedes-Benz, or we've seen from Hot Wheels with Mercedes-Benz, at least in the current era, right? And that's what I'm talking about, is the license was lost for a while. I think there was some, Mercedes-Benz wanted some things. Hot Wheels wasn't able to comply. They didn't have the license, and then they were able to kind of come to an agreement. Speaking of classic, going way back, I had to pull out, there was the Team Transport version, and there's been the two diorama versions, but I had to pull this one out first because I just think this is the best one. The IWC is very cool, but the classic 417 of the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL was the one I like. Now, I didn't even pull out the RLC one. I'm just going to go with this one, but we do have the one in RLC as well. I always thought that was a cool one, really showing where Mercedes has gone. Speaking of classics, then we go to this one. Two versions so far of this one, and this is the one that I think gives the Evo a run for its money in terms of my favorites. Long name on this one, the 1972 Mercedes-Benz 280 SEL 4.5. But the stance on this one introduced with the Steelies, and I even like the two-pack that's come out in gray. Really, really dug that one. I always thought that was a very, very cool model. And then that followed up with a very similar model, but different, with the Red Pig. Speaking of long names, Mercedes-Benz 300 SEL 6.8 AMG. I have to cheat and turn that over so I can read the whole thing. But the second one is coming out in Team Transport right now, but this is the first one, the iconic Red Pig, a tribute to the Red Pig. I think this is the first AMG Mercedes was the Red Pig. Then we got two iconic sports cars before we go to what is now the latest car culture. This is the Sauber Mercedes C9 with the removable top. This one was introduced in the diorama set, right, with the 300 SL, and it's fantastic. And about the same time that the Sauber came out, we saw one of your favorites and my favorites from last year, the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR in the D2 livery. We'll see that again in this set. Looks so cool with the 10 spokes, Mobil 1 spoiler, everything else. It's just, now we've seen this casting before, an older version, but this was completely updated, brand new, and just hefty and fantastic. So we have quite the legacy of Mercedes-Benz, but I got to get these out of the way because we've got to move over to car culture and walk through three new castings that we're going to do. And we'll go, while officially, we'll go in order. Officially, this one would be first, the Chase, because it's 0 of 5, which I like, but we'll save that until we get to the to its regular counterpart. So I'm going to move that over here. But let's start with the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. Now, I do want to show you, if you look at the artwork, I'll pull that back, and I'll do this pan shot. You can see Julian Coyles, who we talked to at the convention a while ago, is going for it in the artwork. We've seen the same Deutschland Design kind of theme that he used in the artwork, but this time you can see that it actually continues from one car to the other. You see green to yellow to blue to red to gray, and if you see it, the cards actually work together. There's a little bit of red moving in off the blue from the Porsche and so on and so forth. So really, really cool theme and really, really cool kind of concept from Julian Coyles. Now let's get to the cars, right? Let's do it. Let's open these up. So this is the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. It's technically not new. They usually reserve the new models for the end over here. But the reason this is number one is because it officially was a new model as the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter Tourer in pop culture with the, what was this, the DC theme. So I'm going to show this one. I actually bought this because I've been waiting to open it up, and I actually wanted to look at the Sprinter, but decided to wait. This is the Wonder Woman version, which I don't do a lot of coverage of car culture, but because this is the debut of the Sprinter, I'll just put it on the turntable so you can look at it real quickly and at least get a sense of the Sprinter. I'll talk more about it as we move to the car culture version, but that was the official first version. This is the second, the car culture version, done in this kind of olive green. And by the way, here's the back. There is that. Let's open this thing up. I'm really excited to see a Sprinter. I didn't know how they were going to do it, but I was told a while ago, because I had a conversation. People have asked me, what is my favorite car? And I've said, my favorite car might be a Sprinter. I know that's boring compared to some of the sports cars out there and all the JDM stuff I love, but I just love the Sprinter. I love what it can provide. I'll go into some of them, check them out at some of these dealers, and I mean, if there's a car that's going to make me drool, or a vehicle that's going to make me drool, it's a fully equipped Sprinter with a bed, ability to carry everything, like just get on the road and enjoy it. So when I've said that, I've said, I wanted to see a replica. I talked to Jimmy about it. He said, don't worry, it's actually coming, and it is finally here. So while I know this doesn't have some of the vibe that some of these other Mercedes-Benz do, or some of these other cars in car culture, and I am fearful that maybe this might hang on the pegs a little bit longer than some of the others, don't forget how cool it is to have a Sprinter van, especially done in premium from Hot Wheels. That means we can get some really, really cool detail. I wonder what's going on the inside. I'd like to check it out, but I'm not going to open this up. Maybe there's some cool stuff in there. One of you can rip it open. But don't sleep on the Sprinter. That might unofficially or very quietly be my favorite model from this set. Let's move on to number 2. We'll deviate from Mercedes-Benz for a second. This is the Audi S4 Quattro. Didn't it debut in blue in the last Deutschland Design? So now the second version in yellow, which looks nice and clean. Artwork there. Let's look at the model now. There it is. Love that they did the chrome 6 spokes on this one. Nice and clean. Details fantastic. I know this is a Jimmy Lou favorite too. This is a car that he dreamt about when he was younger, and I think he still does. But when you're in the marketing team and you're a marketing manager at Mattel, and your Hot Wheels Premium is your job, you can make sure the dream cars are done, and this one definitely is one of them. Isn't it just fantastic? I like the blue. I think the yellow pops even more, especially with those chrome rims. I am a big fan. Audi's another one that we'll have to like go back at all the Audis that have been coming out of late. All right, let's move on to the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Love this one in kind of this, pastel blue, Easter egg blue. You want to call it that for today? I think we could definitely do that. This casting's been around a while, but I just don't think it's gotten the... This is the first like really good version. I think it's been in premium a couple times. I think we saw it in the Magnus Walker deco, but this is the best version by a mile. The color is great, the full detail is great, but it's still really clean. Just the Porsche deco on the side gets the full detailing on the front and the back. And then I love the 5 spokes on this one. These wheels look so good on the Porsche castings, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with these wheels on some of the other Porsches if they go premium with some of these other Porsches. I think it is super, super cool. This is your Easter egg. All right, let's talk about the last 2 Mercedes, right? We've got 2 new castings, number 4 and number 5. We'll go ahead and put number 5 aside for a second, and let's welcome in the Chase. So if you don't know, they have introduced Chases. If you've seen a black Corvette or now this black Mercedes, you're a lucky person. You found what is essentially a treasure hunt in the car culture series. I've already given my opinion on these. I like that we have a 6th version of a car, but obviously because they're harder to acquire, harder to find, they're not in every case, and they are going to be pretty difficult. Well, we'll just watch. We'll just watch and see. So before we open up the Chase, let's look at the artwork here. This is the 2012 Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG Coupe Black Series, the legendary Black Series. We did one with tarmac, right? Lamley did a white version with tarmac, and now we've got the Hot Wheels version, which is very cool. Let's go ahead and open this one up. Black Series is a no-brainer. It's just a legendary car. It's a legendary Mercedes, and this is a fantastic version. Chrome rims once again, which just pop like crazy on this one. Spoiler's nice and clean, like all the detailing, like the side mirrors on this one. I'm assuming this is a Mark Jones design. I'm not entirely sure. Phil Reelman's been working on premium as well. We'll find out. But it's all about that classic, that C-Series silhouette, but just a little bit meaner, right? From the wheel wells to the spoiler to the side profile, and I think this casting hits all of that. And then just looks super, super cool with the chrome rims. But if you're going to do a Black Series, do the Black Chase. So this is a very appropriate Chase. Black on black. There's the art. Comparing the two, same thing. But we just got to open it up. Here it is. It looks fantastic. Not much to say. Same look, obviously, as the red one, but in black. This really makes the front grille pop. I love the black 10 spokes on this one. Near perfect. If anything with the Chases, whether they're hard to find or not, we can argue that, but they are very, very cool. And I don't think anyone can argue that they're making these black. And they're 3 for 3. That Corvette was cool. This one's fantastic. And that Liberty Walk, what we've seen, is fantastic as well. So there is your Chase along with the other C-Series. But check this out. I didn't know this until I finally saw it in person. We had the D2 that I already showed you, from the CLK. We've got 2 now with the 1994 AMG Mercedes C-Class DTM touring car. But look at the detail. They've gone a step beyond. I'll just have to open it up so you can see this. You have to see the detail. I had no idea that they essentially wrapped it with that D2 deco. Everywhere. Side, top, hood, trunk, even around the back. It is totally wrapped, and then the deco is put on top of that. This thing is incredible. This reminds me of the HKS R32 that they did where they wrapped it in the HKS livery. This one is like above and beyond. It is amazing. So as cool as the Black Series is, and it's cool, and as cool as that Chase is, and as much as I personally just love the Sprinter, I think the car of this set has to be this one. Just because of everything they've done. The casting itself is fantastic, but the fact that they put all those details in there, it's just one mean, mean car. And I didn't even notice they had that wrap until I finally saw this in person. Is that incredible? Anyway, what a cool, cool set. It is out now. Go find it. Buy the whole set. Don't leave the Sprinter. Don't leave the Sprinter. All right, guys. Mercedes-Benz, right? Pretty awesome. You guys tell me what you think. Which one's your favorite? Bye.